Okay. Who the hell? This is not gonna work. Can you see everyone? Okay, well, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm not getting up because the internet won't work if I. Okay. Why doesn't the internet work if I'm not sitting on the floor, Karl? Tell the story.
It's magic. She has to be grounded, I think.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
can do
Yeah.
it maybe like that and you get everybody in there, but... Okay, so if you start... Hello! A little bit late. If you start a live chat, if you set it up on your phone, then you have to send from your phone. If you set it up on your computer, you can't send it from your phone. If you... Apparently, we just found out you can't do it the other way around either. If you set up the live chat or the live sending on your phone, you can't start it on your computer. So I forgot the gimbal, so it's kind of sitting there resting. So we're a little late, but...
So in other words, if I just nudge this table a little bit, the whole phone
I will
come
smack the
crashing
crap
down.
out of you, and so will 17 other people.
I want to put this to the test now.
Okay. Well, anyway, hello. We're at 97 already. I can see.
Oh,
I can see chat there
97.
now. I have to do this to see the chat.
Did you say 97?
Week 97. No, not
Oh,
97
week.
people watching. We're not
Okay.
that popular.
Yeah.
We're lucky if we hit 20. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Oh, there's a lot of chat. Yay. Albert's here and Learda's here. 27 or 29 degrees in Kansas. Oh my God, she's nice and warm. Challenging herself to finish all of her unfinished projects this month. If only I could do that in a month. I think I need like 3 years to finish my UFOs. I got like baskets and baskets of them. Speaking of a UFO though, I
Oh,
finished.
make him a liar. Make him a liar.
I finished one thing. The
That's
hat.
too far.
You're doing it to the cat. You're totally upstaging. I'm showing a hat and you're whipping a cat across the screen. That's just not fair. Nobody can compete with cuddly cats. But one thing I didn't notice until I saw it, you can see there's a faded stripe in there. If you do that and you have multicolored yarn, it will do that automatically, but you have to always attach the old end to the new end, by the way. You always have to start and then cut the yarn. But if you do that anyway, so the yarn is continuing, then you get that effect. Cool. So anyway, I finished it, and I have to take some more pictures of it for Instagram, because I should probably post something there. And it's thin. It's in finished 2+2. But because it's thin yarns, it took flipping forever, but it's lightweight. Or is it still warm? You tested it today.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah?
Mm.
I saw Pruda saw his sending today. Rune was doing a fjord walk today. And you didn't get any avalanches. I thought you were going to create one.
I was hoping for avalanches, but no. So
You're going to have to start one with your horn, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay. No, but it was a good tour though. We liked it. You had an Albert effect about you, Albert, the Icelandic guide.
Yeah.
Because he's really cute. He keeps all of his travelers in his pocket with him. So, I like that the water was really green. Why was that, by the way?
I think it's because I don't know.
I think it's because I don't know.
You're supposed to be an expert on the fjord now.
No, but the color of the water has to do with the minerals in the water,
Yeah?
I think.
And we've had so much rain now that...
Yeah, I don't know.
Rain
but
and snow.
The water is in Norway fjord. Norway river is very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just, everything was looking, it was really kind of, because everything looks dead this time of year when there's no snow. But there was a couple of pine trees that showed up really green, and then the moss on the rocks, and then the river and the fjord looked green.
And the river is very clear, so you can clearly see the bottom of the river and fish and whatever. But
Yeah, you could.
there was no fish.
It's cool. I like that you put your hand in the
Maybe there
water.
was some eggs. I don't know.
I wanted to see, oh!
I didn't notice.
I wanted to see if there was any eggs in the... I tried to get Karl to put his hand in the water at Selja.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it.
No.
No.
I tested the water in the fjord and it's freezing cold.
We saw you put your hand in there. He wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. He refused.
Yeah.
Flat out. Wussy boy over here.
There is also kind of a difference between a very, very long beach
Yeah.
and a normal coastline.
Yeah.
It's
Because
still
on a
ocean.
normal coastline, you can walk up to it, put your hand in it, and stand where you stood talking.
Yeah.
With the beach, with waves coming in, you have to run over to it, finger it very quickly, and then run away.
Yeah.
So your feet don't get wet.
Yes.
See, I'm not buying that flipping excuse because you were supposed to buy new shoes before we even got there. And if you had, this wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, but I didn't, so it was a problem.
Okay, I get a couple, catch more of my
Who
chat
says
here.
he doesn't have a leg to stand on with that being his problem?
I'm not buying it. Jensi Eriksson is here. She's working on a secret project. Shh. But you can tell us it's a Matter red hat for her mom in Drunken Stitch. Oh, that'll be I love Matter. That's what my cowl is that I usually wear. Is Matter. It's so pretty. Except for mine went orange because whoever made it overheated it or something.
That was crap, wasn't it?
Crap, yeah.
Crap,
Yeah. I like the way you call it crap though.
yeah. Crap.
Crap. So there's a city nearby where I live called a Krapfoss, which basically looks like crap foss or crap fountain.
Yeah.
But it's crap falls, but it actually is the thing. Anyway, and so we got a surprise. Greg is, well, not a surprise, but anyway, Greg is here and Yen is here and she's been waiting for you to tell more stories. You have the 3rd installment of Beowulf.
I do.
Yay.
You want me to start it?
Soon, because you had to go early. I'm going to catch up on chat. Arlene is here. I came on and deleted deleted the message I was writing. Got the she got the one word hi. We'll take that. Others did that too. Oh yeah, because when I started to post it at first, it just put the location. It didn't put the picture of Rune and the hat on it, so I needed the thumbnail to go, not the location. So when I was posting it on the needlebinding page, Nalbinding. Asylum Farm in Wisconsin is here. Hello. Oh, minus 15 Celsius, minus 5 Fahrenheit. That is
That's not cold.
No, but that's Wisconsin for you. We get colder in the north of the United States than it gets here. Yenny said she just finished a hat with very thin yarn and broad and stitch. It took forever to. You feel my pain, but I did have a productive week because I still have this much yarn left. So I decided to make wrist warmers, and I started them at the bottom, going this way, because then I could see how big I could make them. And I didn't make them very long. There's the other one. They fit me a little too well. They obviously aren't going to fit Runa though, so Runa's girlfriend can have them. Shh, don't tell. But I have this much yarn left, so they might actually end up being mittens.
She might be on.
Maybe she can't hear. I don't know.
Who?
Heidi might be on.
Not Heidi, Heidi, your Heidi, yeah.
The other your Heidi.
The other your Heidi, not your sister Heidi, but the other Heidi. No, anyway, so I think that'll be enough to make mittens, so we shall see. They're really warm, by the way. But oh my god, it takes forever. And don't worry, I have a purple skein like this and a gray skein like this in that basket of stuff I have to use up. So I'm never going to finish. Okay, they might be a little, well, I'm a little sweaty too. Don't tell her I sweated them when I was trying them on.
So Heidi,
Are you online?
I hope you like the color.
Hope you like the color. Yeah, it'll be a his and hers. Oh my god, the pukey people on Lover's Lane.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, creepy lane. That's where it's. Oh god, you are creepy with that cat.
What's his name in James Bond?
Yeah.
Ernst Stavro Blofeld.
That's it.
Oh, I was
Blofeld.
thinking of the Austin Powers ones.
Oh.
With the pinky. Okay. Cat alert! Please introduce the kitty. This is Fuzzy. He looks.
Also known by some as the annoying one.
He's the annoying one.
But he is not annoying at all, he just wants to be loved.
No, he's annoying. He will scratch everything in sight until you pay attention to him. The Godzilla is outside. We will let him in when he starts body slamming the window. So, let's see. Oh, they love the color. I do too. I wasn't expecting it to be like this. I thought it was striped, but it was this way. So, Runa's win, my loss. I do like the color though. Matter is also called Krop in German, says Doro. Hi, Doro. That means Karsten too. Hello. Let's see, whom else am I missing? Oh, Arlene Cross says their snow is bum high. That's kind of like you referred to something once as blowjob height. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I was talking about the dimensions of the Yetis in Conan Exiles.
Oh yes.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
he
then you
was.
were blowjob height to a Yeti. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's a little bit. I like bum height. Bum height was good. Jesus, that was horrible. I hope there's no kids watching. 2 blizzards this week. I saw in the news, actually. Yeah, Duluth got hit pretty well, too. They even had some, where I was playing the Duluth radio for fun, and everything on there is either about how much snow did we get, or how cold is it, and this is all year round. And ice fishing. Okay, I think I'm almost caught up. Quite a few people here to say hello
What kind
to.
of lake is that?
Lake Superior, yeah.
Superior?
But she's
How
in
do you
Winnipeg.
know where on Lake Superior you are going to fish?
Well, because the whole lake won't freeze, so you have to go. You have to stay close to the shore because that lake will
But,
never freeze 100%.
What is the best spot on Lake Superior?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the one with the most houses,
Okay.
the most fishing huts, ice fishing houses.
That's a good idea.
I think we'll go with that one. I have no idea actually. It's really cold to do that. Pruda said she started socks for Greg, but hasn't gotten far. I bet you money she finishes before I do on your socks. Are you excited?
Very. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank
Albert's-
you greatly.
And thank you, Peruda, for the tip on my tour today.
Oh yeah. Did you? I told her you got your cup of coffee.
Yeah, I got my coffee.
Yeah, he got his coffee. He's a happy camper.
Ah.
Albert's cat, his neighbor's cat, got in a fight and walked by, so we took him to the owner. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Actually, we get coffee for free though. But we don't need to mention that.
You're ruining your tips. He'll be going again on the 5th of February, Saturday, same time. So if you're in United States size, you got to get up early. Heidi Lyseth is here, and Garcia is here, waiting for spring and Nalbinding a cowl. Today I'm wearing knitting. Shh. My mom made it. Let's
And
see.
my sweater is made by Heidi.
Oh, yeah! I was wondering if the rally sweater was for you. You have to show that. Yes! Heidi's on. I saw Heidi's stories that it's all done and it was sent off to the recipient. And I remember sending her once that you liked the rally sweater or something. So she was, that's so good. I knew it! Carson's here. So hello. He says, sorry he's late. No forgiveness. Okay, but anyway, it's all right if you're late because we were a little bit late too. Lyra says her cat yowls until he gets attention. Yeah, that's what that one does. Greg, you're up. Story
I'm
time.
up? Okay.
Story time.
Okay,
Otherwise
third
you
part
can't
of
leave early.
Beowulf.
I'm gonna needlebind.
So, in the last week's episode, I told how Beowulf killed Grendel's mother. And after this, and after all the rewards that he got for helping to kill Grendel's mother, he returns to his homeland. And many years pass between his defeat of the mother and his next adventure, many of which we're not entirely sure what happened. In fact, we have no idea what happened in between, except that he became king of his land. And one day, while he is sat in his king's chair and in his hall, he gets word that a ferocious beast has landed on a mound nearby.
Would that be blowjob?
That would be, well, it would be a cat throwing himself against the window.
that would be the other cat. Body slamming the wall being my left.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. So he was blowjob height. Sorry.
So he landed on this beast landed on this mound and slaughtered the village nearby and then crawls in through a small opening into this mound. And under it is it's a burial mound, and under it is a mass hoard of treasure. So you've probably already guessed this is a dragon that has arrived and decided to slaughter everything. And Beowulf, being the hero that he has been, immediately wants to protect his people. But he's not as young as he once was. And he knows that even though he is still strong, he is not fast enough to dodge the fire of this creature any longer. And so he goes to the nearest blacksmith and he orders them to construct a shield out of metal so that he is able to defend against the fire without his shield going up in flames. And then he marches off to slay the dragon. And he travels many days with many a retinue, and then he comes face to face outside of the mound with this particular dragon. And a ferocious fight ensues in which all of his companions, bar one very young child, flee. I say young child, early teenager. and the others flee because the dragon roars its fiery breath, and it looks as if Beowulf has immediately been consumed in the flames. But he was able to bring his shield up in time and able to deflect the fire away from him. And even though he is able to do this, he does get burnt, and he is slow. And while he survives the fire, the dragon's tail whips round and hits him. And he's able to survive it, but he's staggering. And there's nothing he can do. He can't get close enough to slay this dragon. But this teenage boy who had stayed to watch the battle runs forward and joins Beowulf and helps him support the shield. And he takes the lance that Beowulf gives him, and he is able to drive this lance through the dragon's weak spot in its chest, killing it. And Beowulf bequeaths to this teenager his land, his titles, and also his, he's going after your food again, and his shield and responsibilities. And the teenager goes and gets others who had run from the fight, and he bids them to bear Beowulf back to his homeland for his honoured burial. And there we go.
That's it?
Yeah,
I want more.
What's the name of that teenager?
I can't remember the name
Is
of
it
the teenager.
Sigurd?
No, it wasn't actually. Could have been,
Yeah.
but I don't believe it is in the book actually
No.
specifically mentioned what the name of the hero is.
Because isn't there that book, Sigurd the Dragon Slayer?
Yeah.
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 There is that one as well.
Who's that one about?
Sigurd. Sorry, but what else can I say there?
But I think this is a couple of stories that integrate.
Yeah,
each
they
other
kind
in
of met
kind of way,
and yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that was too fast. Tell us the story of Sigurd.
That one I'm less knowledgeable on because
You've
it's
gotta
not
study.
one I've read.
Oh no, but we've got. Oh, you've got homework.
I know I do.
No, it's not Sigurd Snake in the Eye, is it?
No.
Okay, how does Sigurd Snake in the Eye get his name? Stupid question.
Yeah,
Oh, look back at Karl.
Well, apparently, I had a
Carl's
snake in his eye.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
He had a snake in his eye?
There is a condition that can give you a snake-like thingy on your regnbuehinne. Is that?
Iris?
Iris.
Ah,
Yeah.
So he kind of had something like that. Or
Yeah.
It's very hard to know with some of this. The Danish are generally very good at just going, okay, what does he fucking look like?
yeah.
One of his teeth are blue. Well, blue tooth.
Yeah.
What does his son or father or whatever the hell it was look like? No, he has this weird snake-like thing in his eye.
Yeah.
Okay, snake in the eye, done. They're not really very poetic or very complicated when it comes to naming their kings. So I would say it's probably something like that.
So Vikings TV series got that one right.
I wouldn't know, I don't watch it.
They probably got that.
They
as
got that
right
one right.
as,
They showed it. Yeah, the snake in the eye kind of thing. Was it? What is that in Norwegian though? Because it's not schlange, isn't it?
Ormjauga.
Ormjauge? No, is that no? What do they call Sigurd?
Ormjauge. What?
Ormjauge. Sigurd.
Ormjauge.
Ormjauge.
Yeah.
No, but what's his? Is that what they call Sigurd? Sigurd Ormjauge.
I don't know if did he.
That's at least that's correct in my dialect. So.
Ah,
Did
okay.
he, but
That's
did
something
he
else.
really exist, or
Yeah.
is that just a fantasy?
Is this real or is this just fantasy?
It's with him as with all the other saga kings. I think he is a little bit more structured, more likely to have existed in some form. We have a problem when it comes to, for instance, the early kings in Norwegian sagas. Harald Finehair, Erik Bloodaxe, and Håkon the Good. Because so much of what they say and do seems to be more created by their descendants than something that would be historically accurate. There probably was, these guys probably existed, but they probably didn't do all the things that they are described to do. For instance, that's a little bit later and he is much more established, but Olav Haraldsson, Saint Olav, every little spring and every little stream of water and every little bridge in most of Norway that goes back to the Viking Age has some kind of story that Olav at some point stopped there and blessed it for some reason and did something miraculous or smart or clever, and it's now holy.
Maybe that's why Tvind is said to bequeath everlasting youth on whoever drinks its water.
Maybe.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there's a story.
That is the story. They, well, no,
Could you
it's
add a
not
few
actually.
adjectives and verbs?
There is actually a story about that
Maybe an evil
waterfall.
sorcerer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not asking for much.
I mean, in legend, the waterfall is supposed to bequeath everlasting life to whoever drinks from it. And the story goes that a tribe of trolls living nearby wanted to drink from Tvind's water because if they did, they wouldn't have to worry about the sun anymore. And so they didn't have to worry about turning to stone. And there also seems to be a slightly divergent tale in Voss, at least, where they don't just turn to stone, they then explode into pieces at the same time.
Oh, there's no coming back from that.
No, you're stuffed, you're gone. So, anyway, the trolls come down out of the mountains, but they live on the other side of the river from where Tvind is.
Yeah.
And this is quite
Tvindefossen, like that area.
Tvindefossen,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
and it's quite a wide river, and so the trolls, they want a quick way of getting there and back, and they don't want to have to wade through the river and then come back up the side of the valley again. So they decide to build a bridge.
Yeah.
Well, trolls are not exactly well known for their smarts and their archaeological sense, shall we say? And so they start building this bridge, and every time they get nearly to finishing it, it collapses.
Oh.
And so they have to start all over again.
Okay.
And this goes on and on and on until finally they've obviously done something that actually makes it work and they're able to cross. Problem is that while they're halfway across the bridge, the dawn happens, the sun comes up, and the entire load of trolls trying to cross this river who have been so wrapped in its work didn't notice what was going on with the weather around them, get turned to stone and explode.
Yeah.
And so they never managed to get there to drink from their waterfall, and all of the stones, the big massive boulders that are in the river, are the remnants of the trolls that exploded.
Those things are huge. I was going to say, yep. So that's how the big rocks are.
Yep,
Huge.
supposedly.
I mean, they're bigger than cars.
Yep,
easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
The water is magic. Why didn't I just drink from the river instead of making a bridge across?
Because they're trolls. I said they're not smart.
And actually, the water from Tvindefossen is not from that river. It's a river that comes down from the mountain
true.
and runs into.
Well, we get tourists from all over Asia, especially.
Too diluted, Carl. It only takes about 5 years off your life. It does not off your knife.
No, but it's actually, if you look up Tvindefossen on Wikipedia, it even says that Tvinde and then Fossen, Fossen, and it says, but mostly, yeah, it's the Asian tourists. They all sit there and they fill up their drink bottles with
There
it.
used to be an actual tap there,
Really?
which you could just fill it up from, but Grumpy Man, who owns the site, decided to take that away.
Because no one was buying any of the soda in
Because
his
exactly, so
in his shop.
But I've heard it was good for fertilization or good for.
that too.
Yeah.
There's lots of different tales about it, but everlasting youth and that are the two biggest ones.
Okay,
I
yeah,
used
of
to
course.
say on the buses that I've been drinking it for 50 years.
yeah.
And I did have a couple come up and said, "You're not really 50, are you?" And I was like, "Do I look 50?"
This is what 50 looks like. I got about 8 months to go. And then, but see, I knew there was a story there. Just gonna say. So do you want to come and tell a story next week?
I can do. Next week I don't have to.
Do we
go
have
to
any
cinema.
requests, Yen? I know you might have a request for a story for Greg to tell next week, By the way, the young man was called Viglof, says
Viglof.
Trude.
Thank you.
Yeah, in that tale. And they liked it. Yen also says that she was so sorry she missed the killing of Grendel's mom. How did Grendel's mom take it? Was she okay that Yen wasn't there?
Well, she was dead, so I mean,
Yeah,
Beowulf was upset though. Beowulf wanted her there.
And dragons must be really sick of having that pesky weak spot. You'd think they'd wear armor.
You'd think, I mean, even Smaug in Lord of the Rings, he was smart enough to lie on a bed of jewels to try and protect himself, and then what does he do? He doesn't check himself to make sure there's no holes that are big enough for a bloody arrow to go through. I mean, come on.
Albert, by the way, bought a 12-year-old whiskey for himself.
Very nice.
There's a couple of people here who would really like, I'm not a whiskey drinker. Today it's tea! Somebody liked my mug, so I have to show it off. It's based on a find, which is nowhere near this size. It's like that big. But there's a lady at the markets here that sells them from Denmark. I forget what it's called, like Keramik.dk or Keramik Boden anyway, but I miss her. She needs to come back, because I have like a whole bunch of these, but this one I'll have soup, and it's huge.
Is it Sonja? No.
Yeah, I think it is actually
Yeah.
Sonia. Yeah, and you have, but this one I'll have soup and stew in. It's huge. It's got a big mouth too, because I have a big mouth. No, but then she makes them in like 3 sizes. So this is the largest one, and usually you have to ask her for them because she doesn't put them out since she doesn't have many of them. But I know you got some back then. She's like, okay, fine. So she brings the big one. The only problem is I'm really good at breaking them. But I love these, so she needs to come back soon. But COVID. Anyway, so that's where I got that. What is the name of that? Do you know where that find is? The one with the handle like that?
No.
If you can
I
see
don't
it.
know.
I forget. We have some of these in the shop, but they're of course the small one. I think they're actually online. Come to think of it. Rune, what else do we have to put online?
Needles.
Show them. We have only a few of your wooden needles online, but we need to put more on. But unfortunately, they're all unique, so they all have to be photographed individually. Here, show. We'll turn it towards you. Look what Rune has been doing. Are they all wood?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
24, I think.
That one's different. That one's cool. Does he have a name?
What? I don't know. Fafnir, maybe?
Fafnir.
Fafnir
Or Smaug.
or
A
Smaug?
dragon.
Ah, the names of dragons. He's even got
Nidhogg.
Nidhogg, maybe. Yeah.
Nidhogg, yeah.
That could be.
That could be good. Is that the only one that isn't needed? And then you've got 2 eyes
Yeah, I
and 1
have some others at home. These are many different types of wood.
eye. This one is teak, isn't it?
Actually, I don't know. It's from an old furniture.
Ah, but
You
that's
could
good that
say.
you're recycling them, especially
Yeah.
the teak. If it is, anyway. You had some other. This is kind of cool too. Are you gonna oil them, or are you gonna let the yarn, the lanolin in the yarn,
It
oil them?
is already oiled
Oh yeah, okay.
by extra virgin olive oil.
But they get really. This comes really. They get
Yeah.
really shiny when you start using real wool on them because of
You
the
can come up onto me for a couple of
lanolin.
minutes.
They are made by pine, birch, oak,
You even made
juniper,
fat ones too for those who like fat
apple
ones.
tree, oak.
How much do they put these for? Are these 150 or 200 now?
150.
150 in the
I
store?
think, yeah.
Yeah. So I have to get these posted over the month.
Yeah.
But you also, do you make them on order?
Yeah.
You
Yeah, but
got a little one there
I
too for people who like small ones.
I'm not sure I can because I have already been too late for to make an ordered one. So
Yeah. Well, there's so many to choose from anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we have to photograph them each individually. Have to number them, catalog them anyway, and then the dimensions of each one because some are curved and some are straight and some are thicker and yeah. Everybody likes something different, so I have to do all that before we can get. I'm starting at the wrong end.
some have 1 hole and some have 2. I can make them with 3 holes too, if necessary.
Sometimes 3 is good, depending. More than 3 is just kind of ridiculous because it just gets knotted.
So am I. That's why I looked at you.
Some are curved and some are. There's no way to talk about. You have to look at these 2 over there.
Yeah.
There's no way to talk about needle binding needles with the going down innuendo lane, and it's good that I'm having this conversation with you when my boyfriend is present.
I know.
So do you like the long ones, or do you like them to be a little pointed?
And remember, you have to have a hole fitting the needle.
To fit your yarn, yeah.
Yeah, but if the hole is too big, the needle gets too weak on the sides here, and then
Oh,
it will
yeah.
break.
I've had that happen once. Care to comment?
No.
Okay, what? I'll catch up on chat here. Let's see. They look great. Yeah, oh, they love them. Harald Hårfagra stories is one that Albert suggests. Upp okra mug. I think that is actually exactly what it is. Upp okra. That could be it. It's the handle that's the most significant because it sticks out like that. I love them though.
Well, folks, I'm going to have to love you and leave you, as they say.
Ah,
Okay, wait. See if there's any more suggestions.
as long as you love us, that's okay.
Yeah, love me all night long and then leave me.
No, Carl.
Checking Carl.
just saying.
He doesn't seem to be bothered by this, Greg. Okay. Upperuk is about 10 kilometers from where Yen is. Oh, cool. That's Futviken, isn't it? It's an amazing site. I need to go there. Jenny says she needs a Rune.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll try to get them posted on the Viking Valley Facebook page as soon as they're in there.
Tell me what size. Or how
Okay, we're down Innuendo Lane. Runa wants to know what size you would like. Doro says she especially likes the thin ones.
I'm very flexible.
Meanwhile, Albert is on the Highland Park whiskey, Highland Park 12. Oh, wow, yum. Lindsay Langley says, when I loop long tails around the hole of the needle, I just get a giant tangles. How do I prevent that? I will show. And by Monk. Okay, Harald Hårfagra, you have a...
Harald Hårfagra, and would anyone be interested in any, rather than Norse mythology, local legends? Like the one I told with the trolls exploding.
No, they like trolls. Yeah,
Yeah, I can do that as well.
we need that too. Okay.
Harald Hårfagra I need to research because I'm a
need you to have some
mythology
homework.
guy, not as good with the sagas. That was not me, I didn't touch the wire.
Nope, that's me. But that's okay. We did kind of throw you the bus and suggest dinner time theater with Greg in the Viking Village. I think people would pay for that. Have story time and everything.
Yeah, when did that suddenly come up?
Fullviken is a festival near here. It's Upokra is a separate site. Oh, okay. I have to go. I haven't been in Sweden
Bye for now.
since pre-millennium or pre-corona. See you.
Bye.
Have fun.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
He ate my food and survived. They say, see you, Greg.
Bye for now.
Okay. Have you told the Sigrid Fafnirsbane's tale? No.
I haven't told that story. I need to research
The one you
that
were
properly,
talking
but I
about
will.
earlier.
Yep,
the
yep.
Dragon's Lair.
More. Yep, you have to do that. Okay.
Don't worry.
He's gonna do it. What if we had Drakadrek, but in Norwegian?
Yeah.
I think it is. Okay, I was gonna make you guys do something and I completely forgot what it was. It was something very compelling.
Sing? No.
Yeah, you didn't bring your.
No,
You
no.
cheated. You didn't bring
Very
your.
much doubt that you planned the YouTube episode around me singing. That would be done.
I would pay for that. We're on week 97. By the way, we got
Yeah.
like 2 more weeks to go, and then we hit 100 and have to think of something for that.
That's good.
I'm still trying to do a giveaway for hitting 1,000 subscribers. That's been about 6 months now. I should probably get my butt together. Oh, I can show you one more thing.
Not
Okay.
giving away your butt, well.
No.
Maybe
Post-COVID,
you should
of course, we will come.
mention the bolt.
Oh,
broken.
yeah, we mentioned that. We did talk about that a little bit last week, but
Yeah.
what did I saw that you, when you were filming over there today, you mentioned that the boat was missing, and I
Yeah.
thought it's so weird not seeing
Yeah,
that boat
yeah.
there. But
But,
you can tell the story for those who weren't here last week.
Yeah, we had a storm last week called Gyda.
Mm.
And she destroyed one of our Viking boats.
The yarn too.
Or not our, it belongs to the hotel, I think.
Yeah, it's not the one in the village though,
No,
which is kind of
that's
what people
very
drew that
important,
conclusion. But it's not
yeah.
the one in the village.
It was
It's the one outside the hotel.
It was both of these boats, what Rond is in the village and one that was destroyed, Njardar, was on the sea when I started here.
Yeah.
And Njardar, the one that was destroyed, was a much easier boat to row because it's much lighter than the Rond.
Oh yeah.
Is that why it was
That is the
docked
pine.
outside of the village?
Yeah, I used pine instead of oak,
Yeah.
which makes it also much more vulnerable. So when you're going into land, you have to be very, very careful, for even if it just barely touches the pier or a stone,
Yeah.
you got a big problem.
Okay.
and so it's an easy target for extreme weather.
Yeah.
And we have a weird wind phenomena in Gudvangen, but sometimes, some places, the wind can hit really hard for a short period of time, and it's extremely localized.
I heard that they say that it's the wind that hits the mountain sides or the wall of the mountains, and then it
it goes like around in a circle. Yeah.
not
It just
that kind of circle, but
like that.
Yeah.
Is that the ones that sent the tents flying
yeah,
about
it
10 years
hits
ago?
the side of the mountains and then it turns back.
Huh.
I think it was a couple of years ago. It was a ocean sailboat in Gudvangen,
Yeah.
and it tipped the whole sail ship. That takes a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Because they've got like that whole weight underneath
It has
too.
a very long, deep keel under them,
Yeah.
and the wind just tipped the whole boat on the side. So
We've had a couple of them flip in Lake Superior, but that's a lot of wind
yeah,
to do that because those things are tall too. But
And these things are designed for open sea.
yeah,
So you should think that when you are inside a very narrow valley, you're protected. But that's kind of depending, because for some wind direction, this valley is perfect protection. It can be completely calm here and storm everywhere else. But if it comes into the valley at certain angles, it gets sped up. The wind basically has to catch up with itself, and it has a longer trip to go when it goes into the valley. So you can get some weird phenomena.
yeah.
oh, Yensi's also been planning a giveaway as well. By the way, she says we have to come and stay in her guest room. No problem, we're there. I'll bring the coffee or the tea. But yeah, maybe for 1.8K, yeah, you'll be like me. I was gonna do one when I hit 2,000. I did one when I hit 1,000, but I didn't do one when I hit 2,000. And then I forgot at 3,000. Then now I just hit 4,000, and I still have forgotten to do it. I'm surprised that number goes up when I am so bad at putting things out lately. But the biggest one is because I'm working 100% now. I remembered what I was gonna say. Oh, I just hit the light, but that's okay. So, because she was asking. Oh, that was just my computer. How to put the yarn on there so it doesn't tangle when you take it off. For one, this one I notice every time I take it off the thing and then the skein and put it back on again, it does kind of start tangling. So it's actually just easier to do a shorter length and splice more often because this splice is really easy. So, but I don't actually, I should practice what I preach because of course I took way too much yarn. But anyway, to show with a little one, you zigzag it back and forth. Like that, and then you put this one through one eye and this end through the other eye. So we'll do that. And it doesn't always play nicely, unfortunately, but if you have way too long of lengths, it'll do that. So just for the sake of fun, that's a short one. And if you don't remember why we do this, is because if you had all of this in one hole, it would be a big chunk trying to pull it through right there. But because it's over two holes, you're displacing the thickness, so you have a little bit of thickness there and a little bit of thickness there instead of all at one. Anyway, so when you pull it, when you get to the end and you have to pull more yarn out, if your yarn is like this one and it seems to it wants to felt without spit to the next yarn for some reason, then you might as well just go with a shorter string. But the idea is to hold it and then just pull until one loop goes out. If for some reason, so then you have like this much left. If for some reason when you put the yarn on the needle like this, if for some reason this didn't go in this whole eye and this didn't go in this eye and it got crossed like that, and you back it up. So if I put it through the wrong eyes, let's see if I can do it this time. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you get lucky and it still works, but okay, there, but it's actually crossed. When I start pulling it out, it can sometimes try to, well, it didn't that time, which is good, but sometimes it can try to catch this loop and pull that loop with it, and then it gets like a big tangly mess. But as I'm figuring out with this yarn, it almost always starts to tangle when I pull it through because the wool just, if you take it like this and start pulling it up, it will automatically kind of want to go into a knot because it's not very slippery. So you can't always avoid it, but swearing helps. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was that. I have one more thing I can remember too. Ha ha ha. I should have grabbed a new yarn for this, but that's okay. I've been practicing how to start without a thumb, which you have to hold it with your thumb. No, you're just not supposed to tie it around your thumb. They're giving me so much shit. And every time I was trying to do this, I kept using my thumb, and there's Greg and Carl going, she's using her thumb. She's using her thumb, and I almost smacked. And I realized I couldn't do it. Okay, but I was kind of close. You do one loop like that. This being my start, for example, so it wouldn't be that long. Just one loop where you, like that. And then the other loop goes to make another loop by pulling it through that way. I think I did it the right direction, I hope. So you have 2 loops. I showed it a little different last week. So you have the 2 loops. They're kind of side by side, like that. And then you go through this middle part here. You go, yeah, I did do it backwards actually. Anyway, so it would be through here, you would go over and then under, over, under, that way through. The reason I know I did mine wrong is because I can't start going over this. I would have to do this the other way around. Under, over, under, over. So that'd be basically starting York. And then you pull it through, which I'm not going to do because I'm using this yarn. But again, you can start pretty much any which way you want to because you can always rip it. You can always cut it if it looks ugly. Oh, you had it in the needle wrong. Yeah, no, zigzag. Zigzag is a good way to go. I think some people just do it like, if I show it with a short length, some people like to do it this way and then fold it, and that could also cause it to be pulled through wrong. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I notice sometimes I don't pay attention and it gets tangled. But this yarn is Rauma, actually. Somebody dyed it, hand dyed it, but it's Rauma yarn. Thin wool, good for weaving. But it wants to get stuck to the other wool, so it's not working too well. Now I might have crossed it there because it's so long I have no flipping clue, but I don't care. I'll just swear until it comes out properly. That's kind of true with a lot of things, huh, Carl? Just swear until it works.
Skeptical.
See, it wants to do it already. It wants to tangle. Not, but she knows what I was talking about anyway. That's all that matters, is that if I answered her question all right. Let's see, what else did I got? Albert says the boat was a bit worse for wear as it had been sitting outside for that long. Yeah, but it was bolted down in 4 places.
Yeah,
like big time bolted down, and it just
chains and stuff like that.
It kind of took it like a parasail or something. Just
yeah, I'm not sure what happened, if the chains snapped, or wasn't that tight enough so it had room to move. I don't know.
Maybe it must have just shook the crap out of it or something, because it didn't have much to move, and then.
It's possible, but one thing that keeps happening when things get destroyed back home is that the wind catches something light, like a tarpaulin or a big sheet of plastic or something, and then it throws that at something else, thereby increasing that thing's capacity of catching wind, and then the next gust just breaks it all to smithereens.
Yeah.
We lost the mast of our boat back home, probably because of this.
Oh.
Because the mast is seriously solidly connected.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't have that much capacity on it, so to speak.
Yeah.
It gets a lot of capacity.
Then it's a kite.
So if the wind tears the tarpaulin off another boat, throws it at our mast, and then more wind hits that mast, then
it's going to go straight through. There's a picture of it on the Viking Valley Instagram account, but it's a little misleading because a lot of it doesn't. It says it's the boat in Njardar, but not a lot of people know that the boat next to the hotel is Njardar and the boat in the village is Rond. So
I have some pictures on my phone.
do you?
Yeah.
You have to go get them. I got another question I can answer here too. So
Where is
Ta-da.
my phone? There it is.
you have some time to look. We still have lots of time left, 15 minutes at least. Okay, Garcia says, when increasing my cowl becomes a bit wavy, then you're increasing too fast. So sometimes if I'm increasing, okay, if you do the little code, or is it, what is that sequence called? Crap, where it's like you increase by 1 and then you increase by 2. Anyway, but if you start the first one where you're increasing in every first stitch, and then the next round you're increasing every second, and then every third, and then every fourth, if it starts to wave, then don't increase for a row maybe, or maybe just skip. Don't increase every fourth, maybe skip maybe do every sixth or something until it evens out. If it gets really, really wavy and you have to pick back, then you're gonna have to pick back to the row before it started waving. Oh yeah, there. Because I can't tell you how many times I picked it out and then I go back and it's still not fixing, and then I really, it's the row before the one where it waves that's actually affecting it. There you go. Whoop. If you can see it there, it's a little blue on the screen, but it got smashed pretty well. But there's, have you thought of anything we want to do with it too? We were thinking of different things we could do. We could have a shipwreck in the village, but then we got to keep kids from climbing on it.
I don't know.
But the dragon heads survived, so we can put those on display. We also thought it would be nice to make, I thought maybe you would, I thought it would be nice to maybe cut a section of it and put it as an example of clinker build.
Yeah,
Things like
that
that.
could be done.
So,
I was thinking we
It's a sad
should fix our boat, and maybe we could use some of the parts on this boat. But
kind of like fixing an old car.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was not enough left to fix our boat.
I think, wasn't the stern was it? Something was in the steering board
Yeah, I don't know about that.
was actually, I think, okay. So we can see, but there's any ideas, what we can do with it. It's got to go through the insurance company first anyway. Let's see. I think the cat likes Karl. I know. He hates everybody, but he likes Karl and he likes one of my kids. And the other one, no.
But we could have the boat as it is, as a display in the village, to show that the Viking ships can break too.
And they do, and it's kind of cool to see like a wreck.
During history, thousands of Viking ships sunk
We
down
could put
in
it
the sea.
between the gods and the blacksmith
Yeah.
house. That's easy to rope off too.
Sailing in open sea is not very safe.
No.
Neither with the Viking ship. So
No. Karl, there's a section of ocean or coastline near you where people are famous for
The Vikings
crashing.
had enough common sense to not go out there at all. They just dragged their ships overland to avoid the entire thing.
But now they're building a sea tunnel through the mountain, so people don't have to take that route.
is it true that when Eirik the Red was going to Greenland, they had about 25 ships with them, and only 12 of them reached Greenland? I think I read something about that.
This is possible,
Yeah.
but I can't remember having read it,
No.
so I can't say one way or another.
Yeah.
But that sort of things happens if you hit a storm.
Yeah.
Karl the cat master. Oh yeah, look at him over there. He's the cat whisperer. That thing is awful, that cat.
Oh, he's a good boy.
Yeah. Jenny also says yes. Wave means increase less. If it starts to cone, then you want to increase a little bit more. How's the best to increase? Is there a mathematical solution? I'm a big fan of the ad. Go in every stitch the first round, then go in every other stitch the second round, every third, the fourth round. If it's a perfect, if you're lucky, it'll work. But it all kind of depends on how many stitches you start with. If you start with 8 or 10 or 14, it's gonna have an effect. So if you started with too many stitches, it's not the end of the world, but that system won't work. And if you didn't start with enough stitches, the same thing, it won't work. It'll eventually kick you in the butt. So
Well, that's a sentence I'm pretty sure no mathematician has ever used.
Nope.
Just do it like this, and if you're lucky, it works.
just yarn bomb the sucker. No, I like Andecker was explaining it on one of the Facebook groups that the best way to do it is you can see, for example, here, because I'm just doing 1 and 1, it wants to go straight. The loop kind of wants to go straight. If you have too many, they're going to start leaning a little bit this way, and then you don't want. Then you're increasing too much. If it starts going this way, then you probably need to start increasing. If you're trying to keep it flat, though, But as long as they're standing straight up and down, you're doing okay. As soon as it starts going backwards, then that's when you want to increase, and then stretch it every row. And lay it flat to double check, because it's when there's actually, you got to lock the stitches into place, and if you haven't done that, it might give you false hope that it is actually that way, and then all of a sudden when you start to wear it, it goes bubbly and you can't figure out why. So you have to lock all the stitches into place first by stretching it, and then let it sit flat, so you have a little bit of an idea. There's little ways of fixing it. You can try to block it with some steam and press it through a wet cloth, and that might fix some of it. But if the waving's too much or the coning's too much, it won't do it. So it's alcohol and swearing that might help. I don't know. A glass of wine. Did you know Arne and Carlos made a glass of wine or made a wine? Arne and Carlos are like the Norwegian knitting gods. Yeah. But they have a podcast anyway. I have to start watching that again. My mom's a huge fan.
Maybe you should make a wine too.
I think I need to make a wine. I don't know. I was surprised. I was going to buy wine for my neighbor because she watches my cats when I'm gone on the weekend. She comes up and feeds them and everything and watches my apartment, and she thinks this is like just a pure honor to play with cats. So, but I kind of want to give her some wine for it. So I was looking for some wine, and I saw this one from Arne and Carlos, and I thought, okay, this is really good. But why would knitting gurus have wine? Because you would think the consumption of wine would kind of mess with your knitting results.
I don't know.
But apparently it's supposed to be drunken stitches. I don't know. So, but the best way to increase, in my opinion, is making 2 in the same loop. If you go back to the same loop you were just in, which I think you can kind of see here. Follow it down and do 1 more in the same loop. You can actually chain. You can maybe make 1, instead of connecting it the next row or in the next stitch, you can make 1 loose and then make the next one in the next stitch, but that'll give you a little hole. But sometimes you kind of want that little picot edge. Picot. You have that wine. I hope it was good. I agree, swearing helps. See, she knows. I mean, nothing like a little rage. And wine. My mom belonged to a group called Stitch and Bitch, and I think that works in quite a few areas of handcraft. Yep, Yensi also says increasing and decreases depending on the stitch in the yarn. It's quite intuitive. But you'll get the hang of it after a while. You start seeing it. But I've stopped counting. At some point, I start counting in the beginning through that little sequence anyway. But then at some point, I lose count and I can't be asked to count back. So I just stretch it and lay it flat, and okay, it's starting to. So and go that way. Fibonacci sequence. That's the one I was thinking of. 1 + 2, but then there's it was the Fibonacci sequence is the one I was thinking of, but I think that's not the same as the one. There's some really cool patterns in knitting that use Fibonacci sequence, by the way, in coloring. It's quite cool. Okay, now I've spammed a good chunk of needle binding, which is really good. Haven't done that in a while. Tipsy nail binding works. Tipsy nail binding works not so much. No, it depends what you're going for. Marinating deer meat. That was a good use of wine. There was a knitting pattern that my mom was making a sweater, and it was called Drunken Stitching. It was maybe a whiskey sweater. Anyway, drunken whiskey or something. But the idea is you take a dice and you roll it, and every time you hit that that number that's on the dice, so example, this one shows 8, then I would go 8 stitches and I would do a different stitch. It was something stitches before whiskey or something like that. I forget what it was called, but it was quite cool. But for this one, it was a knitting pattern, so then they would just purl. Or they would make a cable there, so the cables were all messed up because they were random, but you would use a dice to keep things random. And that was, I wish I could remember the name of that one. I think it was Stitches Before Whiskey. Oh, there's Ann Decker, yeah. So there she goes. She likes to shift between F1 and F2 to add my increases even in tight circles, and never putting more than 2 stitches in exactly the same spot. If you want to have the same increase in the same spot, you will get a little bit of a subtle line in there. But if you're doing a sweater, for example, because the way the null binding stitches slant, if you did that in the same spot every time, it would actually look a little like that. So if you stagger your increases a bit, then that gets lost. And you don't get that line. What did you get in the mail yesterday? You got a new toy.
Okay, this is a kind of an abrupt change of subject.
Yeah, but it's because we only have like about 5 minutes left, so you got to get your geek on. We've done Viking, we've done null binding. Let's put some Karl in there. What did you make Rune and Greg do today?
I have done my characters for the role-playing game Runequest.
Yeah.
It's very high fantasy, Bronze Age, thingamajig, it's extremely hard to explain for people who are not, who doesn't know what it is without sounding like a complete
I think
geek.
a lot of these people do know. That's the fun thing.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I might have to mention it.
Possibly.
Yeah. So it could be fun. Do you like how your character's turning out?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I see you're a horse riding clan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the name of my character is Yuchi, and that was the bastard son of Genghis Khan.
Oh, cool. So you're going all Mongolian with this.
Yeah.
Ah, I like it.
So that is the plan, though.
What a great, and you ride horses. Yeah, you're a horse
Yeah.
rider. And then Greg is a priest.
Yeah,
That was kind of
he
a joke.
rides rabbits. No, just kidding.
It was bison.
Bison, yeah.
Riding rabbit brings on a whole another scary.
He's not a priest, he is an assistant shaman.
Yeah.
An assistant shaman.
Yeah. Which means that he is messing around with spirits
Yeah.
a lot and trying to force them to do his bidding.
Oh, this is so perfect for Greg.
We can mention that yesterday I was in the forest and got a new
Yes.
log for a new statue of Frey
Yeah,
in the village.
Frey was laying down on the job. I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember Frey, but he was the god of fertility.
Yeah,
But apparently it got too big and he kept falling over, so
Yeah.
you're making a new one.
he was rotten from inside, so. But so we are
Maybe
going-
not so fertile, or maybe overly
No.
fertile. I don't know.
I think he was depending on Viagra at the end of the.
It was definitely depending on Viagra. But you're
So
going to
we
make
are
a new
making a new one.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be good. And yeah, we have to take a picture of it. How you went to the woods yesterday to chase him down,
Yeah,
and you found him.
yeah.
And
it
then
was
you.
very hard. I spent. I
was
was
very
driving
hard.
around the fields with a tractor and look around and look at the trees, and it's very hard to find.
Yeah,
the
because it
proper
has to
one.
have an offshoot that's just
Yeah,
as thick,
And
basically.
it has to be correct.
Yeah, you don't want a limp one, you know.
No. And some of them was crooked, and some of them was thin, and some of them was bending down, and
A bit like needle binding needles, huh? Some
Yeah.
were crooked, some were.
Yeah.
And then you had to strap him in your car and take
Yeah.
him with you. And
Yeah.
how did that go?
it went okay.
Yeah.
That's, I would say, probably realistic enough. Some of them are crooked, and
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of them are bent, and some of them are pointing down.
Yeah. But Frey's one has to stand straight up.
He's got to command attention, that one.
Yeah.
Show enthusiasm.
Yeah. So we'll see how it works out.
Ah, look, I pulled the yarn through and it didn't even tangle. I thought there was one more thing I was going to mention and I might have forgot. Karl is really channeling his blonde villain back there. Oh, yeah. Because of the cat. You're just...
I'm assuming it was Bond villain.
Bond
not
villain, sorry.
Blonde villain.
I'm kind of thinking
Not
of you.
blonde, but
You could be a blonde villain.
He's all dressed in black. Long,
No, I
black
can say
hair.
I used to be blonde. Yeah?
Yeah.
You are looking a little creepy.
I look like a blonde villain.
With this little pussy cat
You
over there.
look like you're a singer in a black metal group.
Limp Frey is just sad. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, it's gotta go whoop. There we go. That's all I'm gonna display there. And probably bad for the harvest. No, this is true. Kaya's here, by the way. Hello from Tregde. Karl is an epic GM in Runequest, so we'll have fun for sure. I gotta tell you though, I don't know about you, but role-playing or RPG is not really my thing.
No,
And
not
as far
me
as
either.
paper and pen and paper.
I like RPG on the computer,
Yeah, that I like.
but I'm not so into that on dices with dices
No,
and paper and stuff
I'm not
like
either,
that,
but
it's
When he's doing it,
yeah, it's cool.
it's flippin' hilarious.
Yeah. It's
He
fun.
even does an impersonation of a troll.
And multiple trolls.
We'll have to show that next time, okay?
Yeah.
Your impersonation of a troll. Let's see what else I can catch up on here before I... Oh, yeah, now I remember what it's going to say. Max Brandt is here, by the way. He said, is working flat easier than using thumb loops? It all depends on the person. But I will answer from my own perspective. I don't like working flat. I would rather use my thumb. And the reason for that is I can control the gauge. That means all my stitches are going to be the same size. So if I'm working flat, it's real easy to have the size adjust, and your rows could look a little like this instead of, you know, straight. Like that. So I notice that mine are more uniform in size if I use my thumb. But you never know. I could be stressed and things would go nuts too. So that's just my own personal opinion, but I think it's easier. It's also one movement instead of two. If you're working flat, sometimes you have to pull it this way and then this way. Instead, you can just Yeah, the increases thing is very similar as to how to crochet a flat circle. A lot of crochet patterns can be adapted for needle binding. By the way, you just have to rethink your gauge because where crochet may need 10 stitches, you may need 16, for example, or the other way around. And your rows in needle binding are often taller than your rows in crochet. So the last thing I was going to mention anyway, before I forgot, what the hell happened with Corona in Norway? We can touch that one lightly. No, don't touch anything. Last week we had, I think we finally hit 12,000. The week before was 8,000. And we had 12,000 like 3 days in a row, 12,000, 12,500. What happened last night?
I don't know. I remember back in the days when we started to panic a little bit when the number was in the 3 digits.
Yeah. It was not even like a month and a half ago that 1,052 was the record. But now our new records every day.
Yeah.
So do you know what the number is today?
25,000 something.
Really close to 26,000.
But I suppose this is the new Omicron virus.
It's the Omicron, yeah. But people seem to be giving up. They just kind of think, oh, we're all going to get it anyway.
No.
And this seems mild. But that's the Oslo.
I don't really agree because
that's good.
For the first time ever I see everybody in the shop is wearing the munnbind.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, no, and when I was in the East, though, it was just like, the kids in school are all getting it. Mine are lucky. I had to take, my kids and I had to take a test before I left here. 42,000 in Holland, wow.
Yeah, no, but I think the thing in Oslo is that most of them have had their 2 vaccines and then they've had a booster and then they get corona. I think that, okay, no, for fuck's sake, it has to be over. So they don't really...
My kids, they're 12, they'll be 13 in about a month. They were allowed to take their second dose. They just took their second vaccine on Thursday. But no, in order to come out here this week, I had to take a test before I left because if my kids are sick, I can't leave them with my ex. And if I'm sick, I can't get them sick either. So it's going to be testing every week now. I'm getting pretty good at shoving things up my nose. Anyway, so that's how scary things are here, but we still don't have any cases in Gudvangen.
No, not as...
It's not like they have very many people to
know.
go through, but I think if it does hit Gudvangen, it's going to be rampant. But
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
Basically, if
So
it
lucky.
gets to our business, then all of us is going to hit it. But if it's basically the locals or the diner or the gas station or the hotel or whatever, it's not necessarily going to spread to us.
No, that's true because we're not
generally
in.
don't lick them.
No.
But the place to get it here in Gudvangen is on the
Gas station would be the way
Yeah.
because you have so much through traffic.
Otherwise, people stay at home or stay by themselves. People in Gudvangen is not very social, actually.
No, well, there's not many of us to be social with. I think you're looking at the biggest gathering in Gudvangen right now.
No, there's somebody playing pool in a barn down the way.
Oh yeah, they're having.
I know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people are basically social in their group. So we work together and we also occasionally play together or do YouTube. So it makes no difference really.
No. I was gonna see if we can catch up on chat a little bit, but anyway, that's the Corona update for us. And we haven't locked down. We're not locked down or closed or anything, and I think they're kind of being loose on the restrictions still now, which is kind of surprising. What's the most common type of stitch used in Norway and Denmark? I can't speak for Denmark. Maria Lynn Hale could, but I'd say Oslo because it's really easy and you can use super fat yarn, and that's just basically 2 stitches. York could be just as popular as Oslo. It's the same thing, but you go the other way through instead of going away from you, behind your thumb, you go towards you. But York twists. So Oslo is easier because Oslo lays flat and you don't have to mess so much with the twisting. So that's my guess there. Mammen is also, Mammen or Corgan, depending on your connection, is also a pretty good one if you have thin yarn. But I would start with a real thick yarn anyway and go with Oslo. Because it works up a lot faster. 10 times. This hat took forever. I could have made 5 or 6 hats in Oslo in the time it took me to make this one, which is in finished 2+2 and super thin yarn. So, but if you're using Oslo, you can get and using your thumb, you can get away with thick yarn. So that's my opinion on that. Everybody's got a different opinion though. Bjorn Arne says Omicron happened. It was much more contagious than other variants. People are triple vaccinated and hence it's hard to control the outbreak. As many don't even notice they get it. I think that's a thing. We're going to run out of tests, I read in the news too, actually.
You're not going to get accurate numbers for much.
No, and the article's like, well, if we look at this way, the next 3 days, if we get 5,000 cases the next 3 days, we're going to run out of tests and we don't have enough people to test them. We hit 25,000 in one day. Then it was, oh my God. So, no, anyway, we are on overtime now, so we should probably get going. We will have to photograph the process of fray. Yeah, the York twist is, I agree with Yenny, the York twist is just annoying because you have to try to untwist it to get it to lay flat, and then you still end up with a Mobius.
And I have to contemplate how to introduce a blonde villain to my Runequest campaign.
I'm a blonde villain. No. Dora says she makes slippers and Mammon with the thick yarn to get them sturdy. I do too. Okay, I gotta show one more thing. I forgot to do it. My mommy made this. This is Alafas Lopi but thin. Isn't it cool? It's knit. I let my mom do this.
Is it wrong that I kind of have this instinctual worry when my girlfriend starts taking clothes off and says I just have to show one more thing?
I suppose.
Yeah.
You didn't have that bothers you, but not when I start looking at all of his long appendages and says, I like the shape of this one and how well are they polished?
Yeah, I thought you thought they were too thin.
No, some of them are pretty thick. Yeah, no, mom's good. But this is Alafos, but Letlopi, I think it's the real skinny one of it. But it's wonderful. I can't knit so much because it hurts my arms, so I make my mommy do it, and then I needle bind for her instead. Okay, we gotta go. Cheeky Karl. Just sit there and pet your cat. Saturday at 6 o'clock. We'll be here again. How's the light going? By the way, the light, it's still pitch black out now, but what is your estimate of when we can go outdoors again for shooting? Because right now we'd be sitting with a flashlight going, it was a dark and stormy night.
I'm not sure. I really don't, because the darkness is going to jump forward when we go out of
In March,
daylight, when we go into daylight saving hours.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Well, March at least anyway, but might be the end of March, might be the beginning of March. I don't know, if I look at last year's YouTubes, then we can figure out when we went out. Because it doesn't matter if we end in the dark, but it'd be nice to start outside. Okay. You want to say goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see if I can end